Let's talk rich people. Katy Perry is going to have to pull finger if she wants to buy a lush McMansion here in New Zealand, because our government is gearing up to launch its plan to solve the housing crisis by keeping her and other non-New Zealanders out. The rest of the world is realising that owning a slice of heaven will soon be off limits. A law set to pass this week banning foreign buyers from buying property in God's zone in the hope of turning down the heat on our boiling house prices. Overseas, buying in New Zealand has become a code word for rich Americans looking to escape their fears of terrorism, civil unrest and a nuclear showdown. And all that noise around PayPal founder Peter Thiel gaining citizenship to buy, and disgraced news anchor Matt Lau's lease of Hunter Valley Station hasn't helped. But now that prices are dipping, is banning foreign buyers the right thing to do? Well, let's ask Ashley Church from the Property Institute. Ashley, surely getting rid of foreign investors is good news for someone wanting to get a house a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, Jesse, it would if they had had an impact on the market to any great degree prior to the imposition of this piece of legislation that's being introduced, but sadly they were only ever about 3 or 4% of the markets.
So what do we need to do to bring prices down there? Because lots of people out there can't afford a house.
Yeah, the simplest way of bringing prices down, and you can use Christchurch as a template for this, is to build as many houses as you can as quickly as possible, which is pretty much exactly what Phil Twyford's trying to do at the moment.
Is this bill simply xenophobic?
There was talk of going into auction rooms where there were, for argument's sake, lots of Asian faces, and so the inference was that if the buyers were Asian, therefore somehow they were foreign buyers. The reality is, I think, if you actually analysed who those people were and sat down and actually talked to them, you would have found that a very large proportion of them were actually Kiwis.
Banning stuff seems a bit at odds with the Labour brand, though, doesn't it? It all feels a bit Brexit and America first. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's part of a bigger phenomenon that's taking place worldwide, which comes under the kind of the general banner of something called economic nationalism, and it's this idea that there is always somebody or something that's responsible for the problems of society. So in New Zealand it's foreign buyers, and Australia right now it's Kiwis in the market taking their jobs and claims to welfare benefits. In the United States it's a whole range of imagined ills, but in different parts of the world it's this fascination or this propensity to pick up on a particular part of the market and blame that part of the market for the problems that strike a society.
Hey, even if this isn't going to work quite as the Labour Party thinks it's going to, what's the downside?
Oh, there probably isn't a downside. That's a fair question, actually. There's probably no great downside. I mean, from Labour's perspective, it's an icon piece of legislation that's been done for ideological and political reasons. But in respect of the market, it's not going to have a dramatic effect one way or another.
Well, Ashley, we appreciate your time on this tonight. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective from Ashley. Obviously represents people in the property market, so he's got that perspective. I sort of think there's still plenty of people out there who think that there's nothing wrong with kind of like saving Kiwi property for Kiwis, but it's obviously a bit divisive, and you know, we used to divide along political lines, but maybe not so much anymore.
Yeah, I'm really interested in property prices. Like, you know, it's all flat at the moment. Is it going to come right? I mean, I'm trying to sell a house, so I want it obviously to go up. But people trying to get into their first homes want it to go down. Yeah. So I mean, you know,
can't you put your own selfish needs aside?
No, it's very important that I get a good price for my house.
Because surely the best thing to happen in New Zealand would be for prices to drop by like 40 or 50% in some ways.
No, we just need to build more houses for the young people.
Yeah.
Young people housing, affordable rates. Meanwhile, I need to sell my house for a good price if you're interested.
Well, in segment 3, we'll be advertising Wendell's house for you.